This is a quick look at Fantasy Beings artworks that I have available for sale. This one over here appears in this book. You can find it outside of Amazon. We go to Etsy and coupon code and watercolors, and to the unicorn. The original is for sale. These are all prints in my Deviant art shop. So the purple hair dreamer and view of the mug. There's other stuff over here. The purple fairy, click for the prints, and some other different stuff here. Same thing with the blue-green fairy. This just shows it with one of the frame options. And the unicorn also as prints. This one is a gallery wrap, so those get pricey, but the other ones can be cheaper. So that's just a quick look at some Fantasy Beings artwork that I have available. Stay tuned because your video starts now. Welcome to CATtheMinion YouTube channel. My name is Teresa, but you can call me Cat. This is Shatter episode 2, and my guests today are Theoddra MonStar and Aunt Gore. Theo is a filmmaker, content creator, comic artist, songwriter, and performance artist. Aunt Gore is a filmmaker, content creator, performance artist, and singer. All right, welcome. We're talking to Theoddra MonStar and Aunt Gore today. Hello.
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 So before I ask you the 3 questions, like it's Monty Python, I'm going to show people some of your work. So let me do share screen. And where am I going? Okay. Share screen. So right now we're looking at Theo's link tree. So we've got all kinds of different links to art, and
I didn't know you can do that to the background.
Yeah.
and I practice.
She's fine.
And here we have Aunt Gore link tree with all kinds of links. I noticed that some of these are for different charity things, which I thought was really cool. And then some of your films.
I need to reorganize it again.
I thought my link tree was long, and I was like, oh, thank God. So you work together, and you have your YouTube channel here, Trash People of the Dump. And for some reason, when I was getting ready, I forgot that you guys had made, sorry, there's a motorcycle. I forgot that you guys had made puppets and everything too. So there's a whole production going on here. So kinds of videos here, musicals, comedy, how-to kind of things. So here, one of your drawings there, Theo, and some of your comics. I like this style of artwork. I always like the creepy stuff, but I'm like a Giger fan, so this is sort of right in my wheel.
Oh yeah.
And we have film stills. I thought these were cool too. I like the ones that just sort of the like spoopy comedy. At least that's my interpretation.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We like the horror comedy kind of.
They had a lot of like horror comedies back in the late 80s and early 90s.
Oh yeah.
So here's a different kind of video, and some showcasing some of your epic fashion. So I'm going to stop share.
Okay.
And then if you have any like comments you want to tell people a little bit about your work before I ask questions, the floor is yours. You don't have to if you don't want to.
All right. Well, we definitely got started down this path in a strange way. We're originally from Iowa and moved to near Portland, Oregon about 7 years ago.
Yeah, yes it is. 7, yeah.
And when I had originally moved out here, I really wanted to be like a fiction author. Like that was like kind of my goal for a while. And then like I just realized I didn't have the knack for writing things that people necessarily wanted to read.
Well, it also put you in a box because you have so many different talents.
Yeah.
And so like you weren't able to fully use all of those.
Yeah, because it's very specified thing. Like you could obviously do like a picture book and then you can add a different element of creativity to it. But Yeah, and originally that was what I was gonna do because I back in Iowa I used to write all the time, and then when we came out here, we started running Laura started running
Well, we started going to a meetup
yeah, but then
group,
you
but
ended
then
up
I see,
running
yeah.
the Portland Horror Movie Club,
Oh, I didn't
and
realize you were running the movie club. That's awesome.
Yeah.
yeah, and so we started really getting into the local horror scene and local movie festivals,
Yeah,
and
that was interesting.
right before we started making short films for the first time, we used to do a YouTube show with a friend of ours named Adam who used to run the group.
Yeah.
Um and it was just like a horror movie review show. And we did that for a little while, and then we got copyright struck on it for something, or content
No, it was,
struck.
yeah. But he
And
didn't know what to do, and he
and he
freaked out.
got really burnt out by the experience after that. So and then his life got too busy, so we had to
Yeah.
move on with
That
his
kind of
life.
sucks. Like, I'm always
Yeah.
nervous that I'm gonna get like copyright struck for something. So I'm like,
We
like,
were out for
if
what,
it-
like 3 months? We couldn't
was
do
2
it.
months.
Oh, it was 2 months, but still, yeah.
sometimes I wonder if I'm like, if I'm doing the tarot and I have like a song pop into my head, if I badly sing like a lyric of this song.
I
I'm gonna
don't
get
I don't
copyright
think
I
that
don't-
would affect
yeah.
you. I really don't, because people can do covers.
Yeah.
I think I've been watching LawTube recently because of the Johnny Depp trial, and
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get
it
that.
has to, it's like there has to be like some kind of like transformative use, but there's like guidelines for what that means.
Hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, that's always a stressful
Oh, yeah.
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 thing.
And so that kind of really kind of put an end to that. But right before that came to an end, we decided to make a funny version of an episode, like just us two,
Hmm.
and it was called Movies from the Dump.
Oh,
And it was
nice.
just one episode, and so like we were just like reviewing a really bad movie
And did like
and did
skits
silly
and
skits and like
between, yeah.
reenactment things. And then I'm like, after the other show with Adam fell apart, we're like, I really did kind of enjoy doing that, especially writing the funny skits. So
Yeah,
let's
especially,
do our own YouTube thing. But I wanted to write a theme song for it because I like writing music.
Right.
And after I got the theme song done, I'm just like, this show needs to have puppets in it. It just it needs to be puppets. And so Trash People from the Dump was born out of that.
That's great.
And the original idea has evolved a lot too. Like,
yeah.
we used to really have like a story, like the first season of our first Trash People from the Dump iteration was mostly, again, just we would do movie reviews and movie parodies
And like weird, yeah.
and weird
mostly,
skits
yeah.
and that kind of thing. And then the second season I did was strictly movie parodies. And that's when the episodes started getting longer, and I started having an overly convoluted story go over the top
took
of it.
so much time too.
Yeah, and
just the two of us.
and that was pretty overwhelming. But and then the third and final iteration so far was the Trash Peaks, which was a Twin Peaks parody.
I feel like
And
I
that's-
saw some of that and that it was funny. Was that the like the long movie? Like,
Yeah,
the
it's like,
movie?
I mean, you can break it. It's broken up into 8 parts, but like there's also just
Like
like
an
you can
hour
sit
and 10
down and
minute
just
version.
Yeah,
watch
because
it.
I remember watching that and it was like a fever dream, but it was highly entertaining. I'm
It
like,
was a
I'm
lot of
so
fun
like
when they
like
made
I'm so far up my own ass with my own work that I always like I find it
Oh,
hard to keep up with my friends, like you guys who do
Absolutely.
Oh,
work.
I
But I'm like,
understand that.
like
I
I
feel
will
guilty
I
all
will
the time.
I will like click like on your stuff and I will like repost it if I remember to for other people, because I'm like I know there's people who aren't like busy with their own art who this is like material is important to,
yeah.
and I'm like I feel bad that I don't have
Oh,
like
I'm-
all the time.
I'm terrible about it too. I try to, and then
Yeah.
then
I'm like-
everything gets so busy in our normal
Yeah.
lives.
It's like I can't consume all of your artwork, but I want you to keep making it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with you. Same
That's
with
how
all the
that's how I
stuff you've
feel
been
about
doing.
like
I
all
love
the
when I do get a chance to see what you're doing.
all the art
yeah.
people that I know. I'm like, I love your stuff and I want you to keep doing it, but I'm like floating off into outer space.
No, that's very understandable. Well, it's like when you I don't know if it's the same out there, but in Portland, like almost everyone you meet has a podcast.
Oh yes. It's like every other person we start a friendship with.
And it's like there's
they're
no
like-
way I have the time to listen to all of them.
Yeah,
It's just
sometimes-
so overwhelming. It's like I want to support you, but
so
it's
badly, and I would enjoy your content too. But
it's just like I also need time to make my own.
Yeah, sometimes there's like one or two podcasts that I'll like listen to, but like only when I feel like it.
Yeah,
You know, like
it'd be different.
radio
It'd be
show.
different if I had like long commutes every
yeah,
day.
we have
But going to
a
Portland's
tiny bit of a commute. but
going to
it's not
Portland's like a
much.
30-minute drive, and
Yeah.
it's like I guess if I really wanted to, I just
That's
again
usually-
it's like taking those extra steps to find a way to get it into my car.
But,
Yeah,
but
I
also
find,
driving is like our one time we always make
Practice
sure
our
we
music,
practice
yeah.
our singing and stuff.
Yeah, I like what I miss about having my own car is like driving around by myself
Yeah.
and like singing, like blowing my voice out to Barbara Streisand. Because
Yeah,
I don't like singing when I know other people can hear me because I have
Yeah.
like issues. But so that's fun. That's great. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the questions now.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first question, deeply philosophical, or you can make something up. It's what is creativity and where does it come from?
This is an interesting question because we were kind of going through these last night. And,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, that's
talking
why I
about-
wanted to give people a cheat sheet
Yeah.
ahead of time. So you
No, I
wouldn't
like
have to,
Yeah,
that.
no, I
like
come up with it on the
appreciate that.
spot.
because then it doesn't just throw me and I'm like, oh no, what do I say? Because we were kind of talking about that last night. Creativity is an interesting thing because like I always like people are like, oh, I'm not creative, I can't do that kind of thing. And it's like, well, you might not be artistically inclined to do this thing, but you are creative.
Yeah.
'Cause
There's so many forms of creativity, I
it's
think.
like human beings are naturally creative. That's like how we problem solve.
Mhm.
You
Oh,
know?
see, I like that answer. That's really good.
And so creativity is definitely something that's ingrained in us as far as like being inclined to do the visual arts or entertainment or that kind of thing with your creativity, that's like a different step. You know, it's like using creativity that's not just for survival or work. It's like
Yeah.
like a, I don't know, a more personal expression.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because see, I was gonna say, like, for me, it's often like a hyperfixation. Like, I have some kind of idea that I want to do for a TikTok or for a look or whatever, and then like I hyperfixate on it, and like I got to get it out of my head. I need to do it, or else I'm not gonna move on to something else.
Oh, see, this is something that I like too. That's actually is part of that question. Is like, hang on. For some reason this year, every vehicle that goes by is like 8 times louder than it
Right?
used to be. And I don't know why that
Usually
is.
I have the same problem, but they're kind of quiet right now.
I get these like huge like 18-wheelers that go by, and it actually hurts me, and I like box my ears trying to get it.
Oh yeah, they can be really loud.
Yeah, and it didn't, like, we have sort of like a box canyon where I'm at, so like when we had fireworks it would like echo around, but
Ugh.
like I don't remember the stuff ever being that loud. I'm like, is this like a long COVID thing where now my hearing is more
Oh.
acute? Like, what the hell, man?
Yeah, you never know.
I forgot you were talking about getting the idea out of your head. That's one thing that like bothers me too, is it's like rattling around in your skull, like torturing you, and then it's like, I need to get it out. It's like, but I'm tired and I can't do the whole thing right this
Yeah.
second. Like,
I've had a lot of issues with that lately with being creatively driven. My well has dried up a lot, but like I'm kind of getting some of that ambition
Yeah.
back. I think just like with it being COVID-y still, and then
There's just so much
and then with
around the world.
all the world stuff
Yeah.
going on is just really
Yeah,
disappointing. And it's like, why why even bother some days? But
yeah, it's like,
That's
Earth Girl, you're
awful.
being dramatic.
yeah. So it's just trying to get the ambition lately has been a little difficult, but it is coming back. I have a lot of fun ideas for this year. So
Yeah, it's like this season of Fall of the Patriarchy sucks.
yeah.
I'm gonna write the company.
Yeah, right.
I want a refund.
Yeah, it's like I'm canceling my Netflix subscription. It's bullshit. Okay, so what do you, I mean, it's sort of like, the last time I asked this question, it sort of fed into the first one too, but it's like, what are you trying to express or accomplish with your art forms? Because some of that is like, is also the same like answer, but some of it's also different.
Each thing I do, we definitely has a different reason or goal. Like all my various forms of artwork, usually I definitely have a different feel going with each type of thing I do. Like my comics aren't, some of the comics I do are like supposed to be haha, that's goofy or funny, but a lot of them are just kind of strangely poetic, just kind of these meandering thoughts. And the Subterrestrial Society comic I need to get back to doing. Like definitely has that, like the whole idea of it being this weird nonsense underground never-ending world, where just like chambers and chambers of caves that just echo on and on. So it's kind of like I want the words to kind of echo that kind of meandering nonsense as you're like traveling through these places I'm trying to create. And that's definitely the idea, my goals with that comic. When I do my music stuff usually comes from one or two places, and either is like I'm explicitly trying to entertain, as in I'm trying to write something funny that'll make you laugh, or just goofiness,
just enjoy,
or it's a super personal introspective kind of thing. Like those are like my two musics. Is like,
one thing I thought when you were talking about the comics just now is this sort of like, it's like if there isn't like a defined like beginning, middle, and end of it, where it's just sort of it ends up, to me, there's a couple of crows out there fighting over a carcass that got hit earlier too, so now they're making noise. It's like a prog rock album.
I like that, yeah.
And it's like, you can evidenced in some of the album artwork of those kinds of things too. Like if you think of like Relayer by Yes, with this like fantasy scape. But I feel like you could almost say in some of those prog rock albums, Giger did the cover, like Brain Salad Surgery.
Oh yeah,
Giger's
like, definitely
you're into the same
inspiration.
Like definitely those kinds of cartoons. Brain Salad Surgery would be a good descriptor. So I like that you're explaining that as like a sort of a journey.
I feel like our shorts often have like, I mean, it's usually comedy and horror, but like there's also like an underlying message. I don't want to say political. Lately, it's not necessarily political, but like
a personal
topical thing that like that is personal to us.
Because like the very first one we did was just specifically for the HP Lovecraft Film Festival, so we just kind of did an HP fan service.
Although that was still kind of like, it was about us leaving one place and going somewhere new and magical.
But it was really, when I did Adriel's Tea House, that one was the most personal. Like that one was specifically about my journey as like a trans non-binary person. And then
I mean, not always, but most of the time they are like
well, like I said, mostly lately that's what I've been doing.
And I was gonna say the bumper even is a little bit of a like fu to hostile Christians.
we did Laura had the idea for a bumper, by the way, for anybody who doesn't know, at the Portland Horror Film Festival. They have a contest every so many people get to make these minute-long movies, basically, that like lead into the title of the Portland Horror Film Festival. And we this is the second time we've done that. And Laura had this whole idea of doing like a funny bit with communion wafers. And that's definitely reflective of like your personal journey going from religious to not religious.
Oh, see, I was never religious, but I
was still forced into it. So
that's another good thing to express with art is religious concepts, whether you're promoting it, healing from it, denouncing it, totally into it or whatever. That's it's also a good reason to do art. Catharsis. I like that answer too. Okay. So the third question is well, and maybe it's relevant, but it's a little bit of a left turn. I like to read the official way that I wrote it so I don't forget. Have you encountered what can be considered the paranormal, and do you think this has a link to creativity? And it doesn't have to be like ghosts, it could be like a psychedelic experience, whether that's like music or drugs or whatever.
I'll let you start.
Oh, don't make me start.
Okay, I can start with mine too. I know just mine's a little more rambly than yours.
That's right. Go ahead. I can't remember what we talked about last night. I didn't remember.
If you know the answer, you can jump in the middle and then
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting question to me because I'm really obsessed with paranormal stuff. Like we love horror stuff, ghost movies.
No, yeah.
Hauntings.
We watch YouTube videos about like hauntings and stuff
scary
like that.
videos.
there's like ghost hunter shows and stuff like that.
We love that kind of stuff. We don't like I don't like the ones that are like on main TV as much.
Oh
like
yeah,
the
those
Ghost
are so
Adventures and
overproduced.
stuff.
Where they're the house all night and nothing happens and it's really boring.
And they just add sound effects to make it creepier than it is.
Yeah.
The YouTube videos that you can find of like compilations of videos, those aren't too bad. Usually the voiceovers are a little too like believing everything they see no matter what.
Yeah, that's annoying.
If you can ignore that, they're still interesting. It's like, oh, this is really bizarre.
Yeah.
But I think for me personally, I've never encountered anything specific that I would call paranormal. There have probably been odd occurrences. I know I probably believe in strange scientific phenomena more than specifically paranormal things.
Would you say more like what you've experienced would be more along the lines of like a synchronicity than a, like paranormal in particular?
Well, for example, back when we lived in Iowa as a truck driver, I did that for 10 years. And I was always coming home weird hours of the night, anywhere between like 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. I was coming home out in middle of nowhere, Iowa. And I wasn't that tired. I learned to get my sleep schedule right, so I wasn't like hallucinating at work. But I definitely saw strange light things happen in the sky.
We always did in Iowa. We'd always see like weird UFO. I mean, is really the best. I mean, because obviously we didn't know what it was.
The one thing though is like,
but it's weird light.
It was really strange because I think the military, there was like a military Air Force kind of base not too far away, and I know they did training exercises, but like you'd be out late at night and then see these weird orange lights, and then you'd hear the fighter jets. The one time I realized that's what it was happening is because I caught one fly under, like it was a full moon, and I caught one fly under the full moon. You could see its wings and everything. And I'm like, oh, it's a fighter jet. Like I get, but supposedly they do training. But there were other instances where I would see strange things in the sky. Like one time it was like I saw what just appeared to be a plane, like you could see the light moving through the sky in a straight line, and then it stopped and went whoop. I'm just like, well, I'm just losing my mind. But and then there was the one time that really weirded me out, and it was the weirdest experience I had coming home, is after I left the city, there was a small town not too far away, and then there was a big stretch of nothing. And I was coming to the edge of the small town where there was a household that had all these trees around it, so it like had a tree fence essentially on the one side to block the wind. And
most houses
I seriously thought there were people out in the field working, like because in Iowa farmers go all night long, so you'd see their combines all lit up, and they have all these lights on them so they can see what they're doing.
Oh wow.
And I seriously thought that's what was going to be on the other side of the trees, because I saw all these lights like that, and then when I got over there was nothing.
That's weird.
It was really odd. I mean, they could have just all turned their lights off at once, but it was really odd. But like, I personally believe there are forces, whether paranormal or natural, that like we can't possibly understand.
Absolutely.
Because I feel like our science and stuff as we go along can
We
tell
learn
more. We
something new
learn
every
new.
day. Yeah.
I think as human beings, sometimes we get arrogant and think that we know all the answers
Yeah.
already.
Mhm.
Like there's nothing new to learn. We've learned everything, and it's like we find out new stuff all the time.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, like, I haven't, I mean, besides like the weird UFO stuff, I haven't personally like had any like, ghost type paranormal things, but I do have quite a few friends that have, and like
Yeah.
their stories, I'm like, I believe you.
Yeah.
I just want to experience it.
Yeah, I definitely have a lot of friends who have full on stories
Oh,
that
yeah.
I don't doubt at all.
Yeah.
But personally, like I know when we moved into our house in Carroll, Iowa, it was like 100+ year old house.
Yeah.
And I was really nervous about that because I'm like, ooh, this is,
Yeah.
it's old.
Yeah.
And had to be one of the the oldest houses there in town.
Yeah.
And in the basement there was what we called the prayer closet, like from Carrie. What I think it was, because like the more I looked at it down there, is half of the basement used to be walled off all the way
Mhm.
because it connected to a coal chute on the outside, so that's where the coal would be brought in. And the person who owned it before was remodeling it but didn't get all the way done, so like half the wall was broken in, and then there was just this horrible dark corner over there. But then like he remodeled the other half. I think his plan was to put a bathroom in there.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
But he never got around to it. So there's just this strange empty room
The lock's on the outside.
that locks from the outside with a really old lock. I think it was like an original door from when they built it. So it was really weird and spooky. But it's like, I knew it was gonna weird me out if I didn't just deal with it head on. So I just went down there, shut the door, and turned off the light in there, and just got down on my knees and just sat in the dark for just a few minutes, because I'm like, I need to know if this feels bad, like if there's bad vibes.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I never had bad vibes there.
No, not at all.
So
And I
if
was
you
home
have
alone in
a-
the house all the time, and I never felt weird or had anything real weird happen.
You have like
We've had more odd experiences in this brand new house than we ever did in the 100-year-old
strange noises
house.
and stuff. But then again, we do live in a much busier
Yeah,
neighborhood
yeah.
than we used to. Like
we had a
back-
pole platform in our cellar
yeah.
because it was right near like one of those low, like right on the ground windows that would open up.
Yep.
So they'd like pour it in, and then they'd have to carry it up like these like rickety stairs to put it in.
Yes. Oh my God, the stairs were horrid.
Well, the basement too was, you couldn't stand up. It was too short. You had to duck down.
Oh, that's worse. At least, I mean, our cellar is just like rocks and dirt and musty spider webs.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you couldn't stand up in there. That's nasty.
That was such a weird experience to me the older I got, because when I was growing up, the houses that we lived in had full finished basements.
Yeah, I guess both.
Yeah, that's what's weird for me is the
Except
full
for the
furnished
one in
basement. I'm like,
Jefferson
what
for
about
me.
the spider webs? What about the dampness? What about the radon? Like, what are you doing in there?
Yeah, right.
Oh God, the radon.
I mean, our house is like old and crusty. Like the kitchen was built in 1812, and then the rest of the house was like built up around it, and it used to be an inn and all this crap.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's
So yeah, it has probably a lot of history.
Yeah.
Like dank in here.
Yeah. There is definitely some dankness to that house.
What was?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
What was the thing that you were gonna say on Gore?
Oh, basically what I said, and then I was also like, drug use wise, we haven't really used anything.
Right, it doesn't have to. It
yet.
doesn't. I mean, you could just be like tripped out on like
Yeah.
a
But I
smell
was
or music.
well,
or
yeah.
crystals or
I
something.
was just gonna say, like, using
Doesn't have
pot
to be.
doesn't necessarily give me like like a trippy
No.
or
Yeah, it
like,
doesn't
art
necessarily mean
inspiration.
substances. It could mean.
But it does relax me
Yeah.
enough and like keep me from having so much pain that I can be creative. So in that way, I feel like it does bring creativity in that way, but not like necessarily like, oh, it's my inspiration.
Yeah, because
it just lets me have inspiration.
She has pretty chronic leg pain from a really bad break.
That sucks. I have chronic pain from my back, so I can solidarity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gimp solidarity. So do you think like, I mean, obviously you said like the sort of, tripping out a little bit from the pain helps the creativity, but do you think like in general as an observer, do you think like the paranormal and or this psychedelic experience in general is connected to creativity overall, or do you think it's just part of like general strangeness in the universe?
I don't
Maybe
know.
a little bit of
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
I imagine there's very good chance of
Oh,
general
yeah.
strangeness in the universe,
Mhm.
and there's probably a pretty good chance of also strange paranormal forces that we can't
Yeah.
understand.
Mhm.
As of
Yeah,
yet.
absolutely.
Of course, if you think about paranormal in terms of creativity, you could think people like making paranormal movies or those reality shows where they have to like buffer it up with music
Mhm.
that they wrote and stuff.
Mhm.
Maybe that's it. I guess we have like 9 minutes left, and I think that's probably the end of the questions. So if you have anything else you want to talk about in terms of art or creativity or what
We
you're
should talk about
doing.
our upcoming plans.
Yeah, we're planning on doing getting into doing drag shows in Portland before too long.
Nice.
Yeah.
I saw that post and I was like, that's exciting because that kind of ties into
It makes so much sense. I mean, we never really thought about it, but like so many of our talents can be combined to use
Because I
to-
can
in
use
that way.
I can use our songs to
Yeah,
dance to.
yeah.
yeah, so you got the music, you've got the fashion.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can
we
even
got
use
that.
the puppetry too, because
Oh
Mhm.
yeah,
kind of like
absolutely.
sculpted.
We have some,
We
yeah.
have so many of these weird toys and collectibles and stuff we could use in performances.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, I'm pretty excited for that.
That and possibly doing live music too.
Yeah, we want to do live music someday, but this is a good starting point.
Yeah, yeah,
'Cause,
yeah.
I mean, one thing too is like if you're doing a live show, like I mean, tips, money, but
Yeah.
also like you don't have to deal with like post-production stuff either.
Yeah,
which-
that's the
Yeah,
biggest thing.
yes.
I don't and just like joining someone else's thing, I don't have to book it or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
Mhm.
I just go to the venue. So
That's also
good.
good. Yeah.
Yes.
Less responsibility is good.
Yeah. I like that. That's cool. Cause it's like it's like one thing to like be all dressed up and be on Instagram, but then like wouldn't it be cool if you had somewhere like something
Yeah.
doing it, right? Because like I know
Yeah.
that you guys get dressed up to go to the movies, and that's cool
Mhm.
too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
'Cause
And I
usually
do TikToks
usually
and
if I put
stuff,
makeup
but yeah.
on, I'll like take a couple pictures and then I'll get like it'll start like giving me a headache and I'll scrape it off and I'll be like, well, 2 months later I'll be ready to do makeup again, you know.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have weird head issues once in a while. So some
Mhm.
days like wigs or makeup just doesn't happen just because I can't with my headache.
See, I love doing it mostly because I think it's almost like a form of meditation for me. So
Oh,
like
see, that's
I
also
enjoy
getting into that,
doing
like, cool
it.
stuff too.
Mm.
Like for me, it's like if it takes me more than 5 minutes, I get
Yeah,
upset.
if it's
Like, I don't
stressful,
wanna
then
do
it's
it.
not fun at all.
Yeah.
It's like I'm actually really crap at makeup, and the only reason it comes out looking tolerable is because I have an art degree, so I can kind of fake it.
Well, you
Just
fake
like,
it well when you do. I've seen your looks. You do great jobs.
I feel the same way when I do mine.
Yeah.
I don't really know what I'm doing either.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm just doing
I just kind of put it on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, this kind of looks nice.
Mhm. I like that too. There's sort of like an experimental nature because you don't have to really compete with anyone else. You can just kind of do what you feel is like you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like because if I'm doing makeup, I end up looking like I'm from like the 30s or the 60s. I'm not doing this like Instagram
Yeah.
like ready like puffy lips, tan like fox
Yeah.
eyes kind of thing. I'm like I want to look like a cat.
Yeah, right.
Yes,
Yeah.
And that's
exactly.
it. Like I'm doing my makeup like I'm in ancient Egypt. I'm like this is how I remember. That looks good. Okay. I think that's probably a good place to
Yeah.
wrap up. You got the where you going, where you been. Thanks for talking to me. It's exciting. I don't think
Yes,
Absolutely.
thank you
I've
so
never
much for
like,
having us on.
I've never seen you like face to face.
Yeah, I know.
I know, yeah,
all these
yeah.
years.
Like I was thinking, it's like I've known you for years at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like I don't think I was friends with you at first, Gore, just because I didn't want
Oh no,
like
yeah,
I'm friending
yeah.
everybody else's people too. But like we've been friends on Facebook for like years now.
Oh
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Theo, I think it's been like 12 years or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because you
since
had the connection
DVR.
with
It's been a long
DVR,
time.
yeah.
Back when I used to still use that.
I know I still put stuff on there, but I'm not really active. I'm
They
like,
changed it so much now. I don't know what I'm doing.
I had an account, but like I don't even think I could log into it anymore.
the reason I have it is because I have stuff that I want for like prints.
Yeah, I get
Oh,
that.
absolutely. Yeah. That
And
totally
like
makes
once
sense.
in a while I'll like once every couple of years I'll sell one, but it's like I can't make the money on it if it doesn't exist, so that's the whole point.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Mhm.
like go to my cafe press and I have like each section has like 200 items in it, and I'm
Mhm.
like, well, if it's there somebody will buy it, because it's like most people it's like, well, I'll get a t-shirt and like a keychain or something, but I put a wine tumbler on there and somebody bought one. I'm like,
That's
okay, I
awesome.
guess it's worth it because it's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
because there's no like upfront thing if it's like printing one off at a time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
That's good. And then also that's good too, because if you go to drag shows, then you can have like little merch too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do little
yeah.
puppets of yourselves and sell them to people.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
fun.
All right, it's been fun talking to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really
same.
exciting.
Thanks so much for inviting us on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say bye to the people watching. Okay. All
Thanks
right,
for watching.
bye.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys soon on the
Yeah.
interwebs. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Yeah, this was fun. Bye.
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 Thanks for watching this video. This is just a real quick guide if you're looking for some tarot. First, we're just going to have a real quick view of my link tree so you know what to expect when you get there. There's a donation bar that will come up. You can click it down and that will help you see the rest of the list. We're just going to go to my WordPress website. And if you click the quick link to tarot readings page, this will take you to the tarot readings for sale page. This is a more visual depiction of the list of readings that you'll see in the description box underneath my YouTube videos. I'm just going to scroll down this real quick and you'll see the readings that are available and their current prices. You can see the same list in a PDF format. If you're on the front page here again, click Tarot Readings for Sale PDF or this download button right here, and this will take you to the PDF. You can see we have 4 pages here. It's the same list, same information, just in a downloadable format, so you can take it with you and read it later and think about it at lunch. And we'll just get back to the link tree here. Thanks a lot. Stay groovy and we'll see you later. Bye.